I really didn't want to make this video. I really didn't. But after seeing the film a few months ago, despite it being one of my most anticipated of the year, I was incredibly disappointed. Despite Renfield's name being in the fucking title of the movie, it was more so focused on Awkwafina trying to take down the mob in New Orleans. You have Nicolas Cage as fucking Dracula. Why the fuck are we focusing on the fucking mob and some cop bitch I don't fucking care about? Initially, I thought it was an okay and kind of fun movie, but it honestly got worse and worse the more I thought about it. With this, I thought of a few ways this could have been a better and more focused movie rather than the mess of a movie we got. Let's jump in. First off, easy fix, more Nick Cage as Dracula. Now, I understand restrictions and smaller roles sometimes make the characters better and more memorable. However, here, look at the poster. Look at the trailer. They knew what their fucking golden goose was. They knew that Nick Cage was going to be the reason that most people saw this fucking movie. So, include more of him. Not a ton, but enough that he's worth the price of admission at least. The next point kind of uses my previous point a bit. But I would love to focus on the relationship between Dracula and Renfield. Not necessarily in a funny way, but how Renfield has gotten to this point as essentially a slave. I'm not saying make it this super serious commentary on this relationship. You can still have the laughs, but make it a little bit darker rather than, oh, he's quoting a toxic relationship book. Isn't that funny? You already have the massive amounts of gore and shit. You can have the really dark black comedy in terms of the relationship between the two, as well as a couple serious moments throughout to break up the comedy a bit. Really show what it has been for Renfield to be a genuine servant to Dracula for almost a century. Having that real balance of dark and genuine, I think that could really work in the movie's favor, which then feeds into my next point. Renfield's degradation in terms of his loyalty to Dracula shouldn't be as immediate. It's over the course of the film. I think something that could prove to be a more interesting film is if Renfield's doubt in being Dracula's servant doesn't come up until later. Maybe the first act he's doing business as usual, and then for reasons I will state later, he gets inspired to do good, and then at first he offers various victims that were hurtful to certain people, like in the movie with him going after the abusers, and then by the midpoint, or even later, he realizes that he needs to stop Dracula, and the rest of the movie is trying to stop him. Just more of Renfield being genuine, so the breakdown of the relationship isn't so rushed. Now we get to the point that focuses on the other part of the movie, aka the flawed part with Awkwafina. The mob plot should either be shrunken down majorly or removed altogether. This was easily the worst part of the film. We spent so much time with it, and I just did not fucking care. I just wanted to see more of Dracula and Renfield. So to fix it, it will be shrunken down to the point where it's not even a major plot point. Probably just something in the background. Maybe brought up from time to time with Rebecca's character that is causing her stress at her job and feeds into her struggles of being a police officer. But that's it. Unfortunately, we lose Ben Schwartz because I love Ben Schwartz. But maybe we can put him somewhere else. Maybe as one of the therapy group people, because he's great. Speaking of, my next point is, have Rebecca be in the therapy group. Since the mob plot will not be a major point in the film, I decided to just have Rebecca be part of the therapy group. She maybe has an ex that she dumped but is still worried that he's out there and was hurt by him or something along those lines. Then she starts talking with Renfield about being a police officer and trying to do good, and that eventually inspires him to stop Dracula, eventually the two of them together. They develop a platonic relationship over the course of the film through this. Then for my final point, not really a necessary thing, but something that I think could be fun, have Rebecca just be the descendant of Quincy Morris. While this would change my favorite part of the film with the opening referencing the original 1931 film, I still think that this would be a fun thing that could bring everything full circle. So, in the film, it's revealed that Rebecca is named Rebecca Quincy, and her father was named Morris Quincy. Why? Why not just have her be the descendant of the actual Quincy Morris? I kinda understand why they didn't, because he wasn't in the 1931 film. But here's the thing. Who's gonna fucking know that? Most people who watched this movie barely even know about the original film, let alone seen it. I'm a horror nerd, of course I know it. With that, you ask yourself, why have her be the descendant at all? Well, because for the very few people that do, like myself, and two, as I said, it has everything come full circle, because if you know, out of the main cast of characters from the original novel, the one who dies is Quincy Morris. So I think it would be kind of fun that one of the people to kill Dracula is one of his descendants, avenging their ancestor. With this, the beginning has to change slightly by not having Cage and Holt be inserted into the original 31 film, but just have it be black and white footage referencing the original film, but being something entirely new so that Quincy Morris can be seen and then killed, having that foreshadowing whatnot. It could either be his actual descendant and he actually had a wife and kid. Yes, that would change the novel, but, you know, it's fine. The 1931 film barely followed the book anyway. Or you can make it that it's his brother's descendant. Both work, because a lot of Dracula-inspired media has Quincy Morris having a brother, so might as well, right? But yeah, that's honestly kind of it. Not a ton of fixes, just majorly tweak it so that it takes out all the dumb stuff and aligns it to focus on something that could have been really good. That's all for now. See you later.